The suboccipital release is a form of inhibition and therefore applicable for soft tissue technique. The positioning begins with lifting the patient's head and finding the suboccipital region. Multiple sets of muscles run from the occiput down into the upper cervicals, and therefore this region below the occiput is called the suboccipital area. That release is often started by placing your fingertips into this soft tissue musculature and approximating towards the posterior arch of C1 or just above that. The position begins with holding the patient's head up and asking them to relax their head and neck as much as they can. As time progresses, typically with respiratory cooperation in exhalation, the muscles begin to relax. And as those muscles relax, the physician can increase the inhibition force anteriorly on the fingertips, leading to greater release and relaxation of the musculature. With each exhalation, often further release is felt, and the new barrier can be approximated by moving into further anterior force with the fingertips. The head is typically cradled in the palms of the hand of the physician to minimize hyperextension of this region. Once no further change is noted, the patient's head can be returned to neutral. Do note in the manual, an additional description exists for this technique, which is very similar to the condylar decompression, in which the hands are positioned in the same approximate location, but the force, in addition to inhibition anteriorly, is leading to a lateralization, a kneading, if you will, of the suboccipital muscles by bringing the hypothenar eminences of the physician together. This can be accentuated by also bringing the elbows together. When this is done, the fingertips move laterally, and therefore the kneading force can be applied to the suboccipital muscles. So the same initial setup, finding the barrier, pressing anteriorly, and then bringing elbows and hypothenar eminences together, leading to a lateralization force or kneading force of the suboccipital musculature, in addition to the anterior force causing inhibition. Again, as each exhalation occurs, further relaxation may happen, and taking up the slack in lateral movement potentially, but certainly anterior movement can be done until no further change is noted and the head returned to a neutral position. Yay! You're getting my jive.